There's a big white house on the left side that sits back. Well, that was the Crozier place.
You said your Uncle John took the...
Great-Uncle John.
Great-Uncle John took the cupola?
Yes, for his grandchildren, for a playhouse.
Oh, I was wondering what he took.
That's what it was for. And I never forgave him for that. And one time, he was quite a character. There were 7, my grandfather had 6 brothers and sisters, and Great-Uncle John was over in the Geneva General Hospital one time. I went over to see him, and they said, "Boy, what a man he is." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, yesterday afternoon we looked up, and here he had tubes and everything, and here he is walking out carrying all these tubes." And we said, "Mr. Crozier, where are you going?" "Time to do chores."
Now, how old was he when?
Oh, he was, I forget, probably 80s, 70s, 80s.
Well, along.
Yeah, and the Croziers are buried up the little church cemetery up just outside of Hall.
Oh.
And my grandmother, 15 years ago, the place was falling apart, and so we got together, and rather she did, and I helped her. We contacted people who had people there in the cemetery, collect money to get the thing painted and fixed up and so on. And grandmother gave me this one name, and I happened to know him. I said, "Gee, Grandma, he doesn't have any money." She said, "Ask him anyway." So I went to ask him, and he said, "You know I don't have any money." And I said, "No, but Grandma wanted to make sure that you..." He said, "I'll give you $1." I said, "That's great." And so, but it...
Probably made him feel better to contribute a little bit.
Yeah.
Not just to be ignored.
Yes, and so then they had a picnic, and I had a Model A Ford Roadster then, when I was senior in high school. It's another reason why I didn't do too much studying.
You still have your same license plate?
Yes, oh, there. I am now a legal resident of Florida, but when I went to get my registration for the car, she said, "Well, now we'll get you a license plate." I said, "Well, I cannot become a legal resident of Florida unless I can get YC7. And she said, "Why?" And I said, "Well, everybody up in New York State knows it's Yates County, but down here I can tell everybody stands for Young Crozier." And so she went somewhere and she came back and she said, "Miss Crozier, I can get you that."
So you still have a YC7.
That was my uncle's. He had it. He died in '46, and then I've had it since then. And in fact, one time the Legion, I was in there and this man came in and he said, "Who owns that YC7 car?" I said, "I do." He said, "Did your father sell fertilizer?" And I said, "No, my uncle did." Well, boy, every time he came to the farm, he had suckers and stuff for us kids, and he'd always say, "Now you know how to get in touch with me. Young Crozier, phone 7. Isn't that funny? That was years later. He said, "Who owns that YC7?
So this is the license plate?
Yeah, my car.
As I said, we always...
I can read this again. 1908 Penn Yan Academy football team. And the men in it are, wait, I guess so I can read it. Kay Ralter, oh no, wait a minute, excuse me. Neil Pangborn, Jay Barnes, Ralph Becker, Earl Miller, Shumway, Roland Miller, Walter Robson.
And that's the back row?
Back row. The front row is Bill Ledgerwood, George Crozier, James Goodspeed, Harry Longwell, and Carl Wixom.
Okay, so your father is this one second, which I'm zooming in on, second from the left.
My dad, obviously, is George Crozier.
Yeah.
That your plaque was hanging on your wall in Florida. You still have your place in Florida?
Oh yes, well, I went down there visiting when I was here in school on vacation, visiting some friends of mine, and they wanted me to come down. They sent me some stuff one year and said, "Come down and buy a place." It was in '69, and so I went down and I found this place again, right place, the right time, and this woman's husband had died, and she just wanted to get out. So anyway, I bought it, $2,000 down, and assumed their mortgage was $65 a month. And she walked right out, and it was still furnished, everything, you know, just,
She was probably glad to get rid of it.
Yeah.
You said the right place, the right
this
time.
is it. So I've been very fortunate with that. So I go down usually the end of October, 1st November, whatever. Come back the end of May. And I was telling Barbara that